Let me go mark some time on my calendar.
So we have yet another SpongeBob movie, the fourth theatrical SpongeBob movie. Technically the last one wasn't theatrical, it should have been, and it would seem they finally realize what not to do. Aside from the CGI, I don't know why that's needed, but there's two basic reasons this movie isn't a complete disaster. The characters act the way they're supposed to act, as in the way they did in the show, and the plot isn't an excuse to advertise a distasteful spin-off.
You son of a bitch! Go fuck your show!
I'm not gonna lie, I don't care if this does good, because the way they treated the product of Stephen Hillenburg immediately after his death was disgusting. The previous movie put a lot of effort into that, and even though this one isn't perfect and honestly outdone by the Plankton movie, that was damn solid. It manages to avoid the extremely annoying elements, pointless cameos crammed into one scene, and somehow tell a subdued story that isn't trying to be more than it is. I will say the premise is a bit juvenile, and clearly leaning toward the younger audience, as it likely would. SpongeBob wants to be a swashbuckler because Mr. Krabs claims he was, so he'll be brave enough to ride the big roller coaster. It's not out of place, and that's where most of the movie goes down. Not the roller coaster, the Underworld, trying to pass various trials. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing, I don't find anything here that memorable, maybe a few things, but it's not the reason you see this. If you don't have a history with the show, I don't think it's gonna draw you in. It's kind of for the somewhat fans, and that may be the reason you get a lot of bad reviews on these. Case in point, the last fucking movie that somehow got good reviews, so logically, not gonna trust that. You have to know what the show is to review a movie on that show. It's just basic logic, and that's why I can say they kinda did this right. Not completely, I'll get to why that is in a minute, but for the most part, they act the way they're supposed to act. A SpongeBob being cowardly makes sense because it's not to rescue Gary, in which he considers doing nothing, so it's not just random behavior. Patrick is efficiently stupid, but in a grounded way opposed to the bad seasons. Squidward is not wanting to be there, and Mr. Krabs, who plays a big role in this, is for the most part the way he should be. It's the most questionable thing because on one hand, Mr. Krabs actually cares. He's not just a cheapskate in this. In fact, I don't even know if he mentions money.
Shocking.
But they give him this backstory that doesn't really make sense if you consider the show's history, and it kinda sucks in a way that's disrespectful to the character. If you consider episodes like One Course Meal, when he basically advocated suicide, and various examples of his cheapness leading to serious crimes. But like I said, he's not really like that in this movie. I do know the show improved, so I guess that makes sense. A bit odd to lean the movie in a direction toward two characters, but I kinda like that too. Plankton and Sandy are completely excluded, aside from a few cameos. It's somehow focused, and based on past examples, that's probably the right move. Yeah, Sponge Out of Water wasn't awful, but very badly paced. Definitely the biggest in scale, but also kind of weird. I don't think it needs to do that. A somewhat bigger scale adventure is good enough. I just wish it didn't have inconsistencies. It's not just Mr. Krabs, the Flying Dutchman, some reason doesn't know who SpongeBob is. That's not really possible. So I kinda get the idea these movies aren't really connected. Or they just don't care. I'm gonna go with the latter, but the reason I take issue with it is because it's usually avoidable. The Plankton movie did it too. It didn't have to, I'm sorry, I care about this, but it doesn't do too much else wrong. The comedy is solid for the most part. I wouldn't call it the highlight, but it isn't annoying. That's a big deal. And even though I said it's not aimed for adults, there are some questionable things, like Patrick wearing an eye patch for pants, covering a very specific area. Yeah, they've visibly been seen naked before, but this outright brings attention to it. It's not exactly comedic either. There's a scene when they kind of invade the girls' locker room at a high school. Maybe I missed the joke. I'm not sure about Squidward, but Mr. Krabs is on the older side. But the main thing is, it's not annoying, it's more so charming, actually funny, and the plot is not half bad. For the most part, it's okay. It's not a contender for best movie. I still prefer the Plankton movie, like I said. But there are a few standout moments. I like the way Krabs is portrayed in this, and the ending is, dare I say, unexpected. Basically, it's a foreshadowed ending. You really don't see that coming in these movies. I do question why we needed Mark Hamill to voice the Flying Dutchman. As far as I know, Brian Doyle Murray is still present, so gotta get some star power in, I guess. You know, if Hamill was still a star after Star Wars.
I raised an a-hole!
But the fact is the extent of it. That's another plus, because Keanu Reeves, Danny Trejo, and Snoop Dogg is just too much. All in all, it's a good SpongeBob movie. I don't know where I'd rank it among the theatrical movies. Though the OG still has the title. Pretty good, not amazing. There's a few things I really don't like for no reason. But given how shameful the SpongeBob name has become, outright despicable, as low can get, it's been a pretty good year.
Could have been worse, John. A lot worse.
If you have kids, by all means, check it out, but I don't think everybody needs to see this theatrically, so let me know what you thought about SpongeBob, The Search for SquarePants, down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe down below, share it if you can, and hit the bell to get notified because recommendations likely won't come. I'm the cinema analyst because somebody has to be.